and Aaron. He will introduce himself. So I'm Flo Olney. I am the Director of Student Financial Services, and I also oversees the student card, the Bay Card office. Aaron is my Associate Director, so I'll let him introduce himself. So I've been here over 17 years, and I have 6.5 years experience with San Francisco State prior to that. So that's my background. So.
Yeah. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. So I'm Aaron Ledesma. I'm the Associate Director of Student Financial Services. I oversee my main managerial duties is overseeing the cashier's office and the collections department. Then also supervise, student financial services along with Flo. I've been here almost 24 years, since 1999. Started in the cashier's office. So my whole time here, I've been in student financial cashier's realm. So that's kind of what I do.
So what we're going to do today is I will have Aaron to depict all the new features for you guys, as well as our new payment deadlines information. So, and also the tuition installment plan. And he's going to show you guys the screenshots again. So this is not the only meeting. So if you guys you have question after the meeting, please feel free to reach out to either myself or Aaron, or come to our office, just knock on the door. So we are located on the first floor, and that's what Mitch usually do. So just come in and then talk to me. So that's also a best way to talk to us. There's an echo. Is it okay now? Okay. And also Bill, sometimes we run into each other, then we exchange information. I don't know if you are all from the same department, but if you're not, we are more than happy to share the information with your department. Hi, Bill. If this is a separate division or colleges, so just feel free to reach out to us, and we are more than happy to go over the new features and new information, new payment deadline, and new tuition installment plan. Anytime you're welcome, and just shoot us an email or drop by. Okay, so I'll let Aaron to demonstrate.
Okay, so let me able to share my screen. Yeah, cool. Okay, so the newest thing we just rolled out. Hold on. Is that my volume? Okay, never mind. Now I don't hear it. The newest feature is called Student Dynamic Bill. All right, that's the name of it. And what came about, what caused us to look into this is students always were able to look up their charges and get the details of their charges, their due dates, and things like that while they were in their MyCSUEB account, right, in PeopleSoft. But then you can't pay in PeopleSoft. They would have to go to our CashNet. It's called CashNet system, our online payment system, to make the payment. So when they would go into CashNet, they would log into our payment site, right, and make a payment. That information wasn't in CashNet. They weren't able to see when their bills were due or what made up their bill. So for example, so students weren't able to see details about their balances, when it was due, those kind of things. And so to try to make things easier, CashNet has this product called Dynamic Bill. All right, so the features of what Dynamic Bill does. So after a student logs into the student online payment portal, of course, they're able to check to see if they have any outstanding balance. That didn't change. But what really has changed is that they're now able to see a breakdown of that balance by charge type. And what I mean by charge type is, tuition fees and housing fees, miscellaneous fees. So they're able to see a breakdown of their balance by type. And they're also to see the due date of their balance. And on top of that, if they have any anticipated financial aid, even that amount would also appear on this dynamic bill. Okay, so student would go. So how to get there is still the same way. They would log into the online payment portal, with their net ID and their password, right? So they would log into their payment portal, and then I have to move some screens out of my way so I can see. So this is what it looks like after a student logs into our online payment site. So if you notice on the right-hand side, right, there's the balance that this student owes is $681.50. So this front screen, a few changes happened, not many, but again, in the past, the student would only see the $681.50, and you wouldn't be able to tell. They wouldn't be able to see what that is. Is that housing? Is it tuition? When is it due? So now what the Student Dynamic Bill does, there's two ways they can get to their dynamic bill. They can click on this View Activity Details right here underneath the balance, or way on the left. It's also over here, this Activity Details. So when they click on that, this is the next screen that they come to. So this is their dynamic bill now. So this is the new feature. So on the top of the dynamic bill, it shows the balance, breaks down the balance by summary. So for this particular student, that balance is actually, there's two different balances owed. So there's some that was owed from fall of 2022 and some that's owed from spring of 23. So that wasn't, visible or able to tell that by that front screen, right? So the very top of the dynamic bill just breaks down the balance by summary as far as what term you owe us from. If they look down a little bit, it goes a little more detail, right? So here's the $55 from the fall of 22. So that $55 wasn't tuition or housing related, it's miscellaneous charges. So more than likely the student owes the $55 graduation application fee. That's one type of miscellaneous charge. Late fees are other types of miscellaneous fees. If the student breaks a beaker in a chemistry class, that's a miscellaneous charge. So those are just different forms of miscellaneous charges, right? And then you can see here the $626.50. Let me go back. $626.50 that they owe from the spring is actually tuition and registration fee charge related. So it gives a little bit of detail. Students are able to see even more detail than this in PeopleSoft, right? In their MyCSU EB. For the $626.50, yeah, there could be further details of that. But for their dynamic bill, we didn't want to give them too much information and make the page too long. So we don't want to have them scroll on their phone, too many times. So we gave some detail, but not overwhelmingly too much information. And then on the bottom here, you'll see the breakdown of the due dates of the charges. So the $55 charge has a October 14th, 22 due date, and the $626.50 from the spring has a December 6th, 22 due date. And if those due dates are in the past, right, the words past due show up here on the left-hand side in red, just to kind of hopefully give them a little, hey, maybe you should pay attention to this kind of little flag. And then it is, so this, I just took a screenshot of this morning, and it is in real time. So so actually what happened, this student actually had some anticipated aid, and I took a screenshot of that yesterday, and then I went back in and took it again. And because some aid got dispersed for the student, their balance actually did change. So this is real time. So let's say right now, right, a student is looking at this and then they end up making a payment. If they were to log back in, these numbers would all be would update. And also, let's say right now they're looking at it, and then a half hour from now they enrolled in classes or more classes, right? So then more tuition fees happen to be charged to the account. They come back into their dynamic bill. After they do that, their account would be updated. And so this is real time. So all this is good. We did want a feature here, there's nothing on here that's clickable. That's kind of maybe the downside to this feature, but like you can't click on this. Oops, and automatically add it to the shopping cart, things like that. So they just have to go back one step if they want to make the payment. But yeah, that's kind of what we have to deal with. But but at least, again, this information is very good for the student to be able to, see their balances, and hopefully this helps them do that while they're in the payment site. If they need help, we have a dedicated web page on our site that I'll show you in a few seconds that they can go to. Instructions on how to get to the dynamic bill are there. There's a little video that shows them how to get there, a little explanation of what the information that's there. They can scan the QR code or email us, call us, visit the cashier's office for any type of help that they may need. Yeah. And that's it for the dynamic bill. Anyone have any questions or anything about that? No? Okay. All right. So next thing we want to show you real quick. Let's go to this is our main page. And if you notice here, so here's the dynamic bill announcement on our main page. If they click here, if they can scan it, if they want with their phone, the QR code, it takes them to this page. And here are the instructions. On the top kind of gives a quick breakdown of what it does. Tutorial on how to get there by YouTube video. And then a little bit further down is just, old school instructions. You actually have to read something to get there. And then, some screenshots. So that's the dynamic bill web page. And then as far as payment plan, right? Our payment plan. Fee payment deadlines. So for years and years and years, we've been having 3 each term, right? 2 that take place before the term starts, 1 kind of final one after the term starts. That is changing. So we're going from 3 payment deadlines to only 1. To try to make things simpler, less complicated, more easier for students to understand their financials, right? How finances work here. So beginning summer, we are going to just a 1 payment deadline, which will be before the term starts. So for summer, it's going to be May 31st. That's the summer payment deadline. And for fall, it's going to be August 15th. So approximately 7 days before the term starts is when the payment deadline is going to be. We're still going to send out the multiple emails to students, letting them know, those that haven't paid yet, they're going to get emails from us stating, your fees are due on August, for fall, August 15th. Please be sure to pay your fees by the deadline. We are actually also new coming up. We're going to be making phone calls to students as well that haven't been paid, that haven't paid their fees, as another incentive, another way to try to tell them, please, you owe something. Please be sure to pay your fees by the deadline, or your classes may be, affected by non-payment. Right. So we're reaching out. We're gonna make quite a few calls. Sometimes there's over 1,000 people on that list, but we'll do our best to get to them and let them know you still need to pay your fees. So to tag along with the 1 payment deadline, now we only have 1 payment plan. So in the past, again, because we had 3 separate payment deadlines, we actually had 3 separate payment plans. Depending on which deadline was yours, let's say, that determined what payment plan you would be put on. And so now we are going to only 1 payment plan. So if we check out falls real quick, I think that's fall. Let me get this out of my way. Yeah. Okay, so here's our payment plan, installment payment plan webpage for the fall. This has also been revamped. I don't know if you've ever looked at it in the past, but we just went through a revamping of our installment payment plan page by some people with fresh eyes. Doing this for a couple of decades, you kind of get used to seeing things. So it's very clear to me, but it may not be clear to people seeing it for the first time. So we had some new eyes look at our stuff, and they came up with a total like revamp of the site to try to make things less complicated, more easily understandable for our students. So the top section here just kind of lets them, gives them information as to have them figure out what type of student they are, right? If they're matriculated, open university student, or a special session. A reason why that's important is when the student logs into their account and signs up for an installment payment plan, which they do, right? They do that themselves. There's no form. We don't do that for them. They have to put themselves on the plan. There'll be some options for them to choose from. There's 3 different types of payment plans. At least sometimes there's a housing one offered as well. So it's very important that they choose the correct installment plan, because if they're a matriculated student, let's say, and they choose the Open University installment plan, they're not going to basically be put on a plan. The system sees that they're not an Open University student, so it really doesn't do anything except charge them a $30 sign-up fee. So none of their fees get deferred. All their fees are still going to be due on the same day. So that's why it's important that they choose the right plan. So that's why we included information to help them figure out, okay, what type of student am I? Am I matriculated, Open U, special session? So top part breaks down that. Then we have a little sample as to what their fees may look like, right? Their installments. It's too difficult to put every single scenario of fees on one web page. There's non-resident students, resident students, graduate professional fees students, special session. They have a ton of different fees that they charge. So yeah, this would just be way too much for us to put every single scenario on one web page. So this is just one example. We try to say that amounts may vary. Of course, those are words that need to be read. So we're just hoping that they get read, and so they know that this is an example. Your amount may vary, but yeah. So we just give a little breakdown of what the example is. That's an example for an Open U or special session students. And then we talk about the late fees that they may incur if they pay the installments late. Walk through. So these are instructions on how to sign up for the installment plan. If they need help in signing up for the plan, there's a word one. This one is how to make the installment plan payment. It's not super easy to do. That's why we have these instructions for the student that tells them, okay, you're on the installment plan, great, but so you only need to pay a partial amount of what you owe. So these instructions tell you how to pay that portion. Again, most of the students do pay online. So these instructions are catered to them, letting them know how to actually make that installment payment online. So there are a few little steps they need to do it. So that's where that tells them. And then further down, we have the due dates of the installments, right? So again, there's only one installment plan. So there's really only 3 due dates of each installment. August 15th, right, is the due date of the first one. September 15th, the due date of the second, and October 15th, the due date of the third. That's for matric and special session. Open University, because they register a little bit differently, or they'll register a little later. Their plan has due dates that are a little bit later than the matric and the special session. So those are the 3 due dates. But yeah, this is another major change that we're going through. Trying again, all in hope that this helps eliminate confusion, assist students in making paying their fees easier, hopefully more understandable, and then just making that part of their process less stressful, so they can focus their attention on studies. And so, all right, and I think that was everything. Yeah. Am I forgetting something, Flo? Anything?
No, but I just want to remind everyone that this takes into effect starting the summer term. As you all know, I'm sure that we're gonna go to the stateside for this summer, and everything is brand new, and the fee structures are new. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. If the fee structure is a little bit confusing, we will try our best to help you and your department so that you can assist our students. Our website has been updated and reflects the most accurate information as of today, right? So if there's any changes, then of course, then we will try to update it as soon as possible. And also a reminder that the student health fee is going to go up in the fall semester. I think it's $5 up, so 193 to 198. So if you have an old, so kind of the total amount of the regular tuition fees for undergrad, so please make sure that you review the information from our website. You may or may not need to update your cheat sheet when you talk to students. So that's just a reminder, because we don't want to give the wrong information to the student and then they come back and say, oh, so-and-so say. And on behalf of the university, we do have to eat that because the information was conveyed to the student incorrectly. So not accusing anyone, but just our website is very updated as always. So any question, reach out to us directly. So that's the best way to do.
Yeah. So that, like Flo mentioned, the summer fee schedule is up, and since we're now stateside, right? So the fees aren't calculated like they used to be. So it's a little kind of funky. So best thing to do is, yeah, they definitely can refer them to there or get in touch with us. This is like just a few grids, right? Just a few charts that we have on our site that tells them, right? Undergrad student taking 0.1 to 4 units. So if they're taking 4 units, it'd be 4 times $375 plus this $355.50. If they're taking 4.1 to 6, it's more of a straight fee. There's no formula to it, and 6.1 or more, it's that. So yeah, so the site is really good to refer people to if they have any questions about the summer fees in particular.
Yeah, so Mr. Michael Hall has a question about if we had sent any communication to students. That part, I think Angela's area has done so, but I do not know the details because this is not my area. So I believe it's already done, but to what extent, I cannot tell you.
Yeah, we put up, as far as what we've done, we've updated our Instagram page. I put up flyers in throughout the campus, at the union, both unions, the core building, the College of Business, College of Science, housing, raw, in the SA building, right? The EIC lobby area. I'm probably forgetting a few, but I put up a lot of flyers. Hopefully students read those. The billboards, electronic billboards, we put up advertisement on the electronic billboards on campus. It's in there. I think they're using the Salesforce, right? The Compass, my Compass, pushing out messages. The Canvas, my Blackboard. Where else? Yeah,
yeah, I wanted to make it clear what Aaron was saying, that it's for the dynamic bill. And what Michael, Mr. Hall was asking is the new fee structures. And that particular, like the stateside versus the summer South support, right? So in the past, we have always had the summer self-support. We no longer have that, and then the state side is absolutely brand new. That's why I have to reset up my system as well. That part, student affairs supposed to communicate. I think Mitch was nodding his head. I think that he might have more information that he can share that with you, Mr. Hall. Yeah, I have very little information on that. Sorry about that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll put the summer session information webpage on the in the chat for everybody. And I believe that as Flo indicated, I believe Student Affairs, Angela Schneider's team, I'm not sure they're going to communicate to the whole student body, but I think they're going to communicate to anybody who signs up for summer courses. But I can double check that with Angela to see how that information is being communicated to students exactly. My question is more of a point towards the faculty advisors, but there is kind of a question in there for Flo and for Aaron. Students still get charged like 1 or 2% if they pay by credit card through the electronic system, right? Yeah.
2.65.
Yeah. Okay. So there is a way to pay electronically without incurring the credit card fee, right? If you essentially pay by electronic check, and I believe the Student Financial Services has on their website how to pay by check through the CashNet system, so that students don't have to come to campus to avoid paying the fee to the credit card company. So if you have a student who says, I can't believe I'm being charged 2.65% on top of the, $3,000 or whatever it is that I owe, because I remember getting that on occasion to like the university's Facebook page and that kind of thing. You can point out that web page on the student financial site about how they could pay by e-check. And so that's a useful way for your students to save money. So I wanted to get that point in. And hopefully everybody sees in the chat, I put up the important updates, kind of an FAQ page about the summer.
And also, we still receive checks in the mail. So feel free to share that with your student. They are welcome to still write us a check or money order or bring cash for that matter.
Yeah. Unfortunately, though, right, if their only means of payment is by credit card, or they just don't have cash in their bank account, let's say, then the only way to pay is online. You don't take any credit cards, any debit cards, no plastic, in person, and the only way to pay by credit card is online, and they will incur the 2.65% service fee. Yeah. And that doesn't go to the school. So that goes to Visa, MasterCard, Amex, Long years ago, we used to eat that and not pass that on to the student. But when times got lean, we, powers that be decided we have to pass that on to the customer, to the student. Yeah. So, yeah.
The students who don't pay by the August 15 deadline, are they going to automatically be put onto a payment plan, or how is that going to work?
No, it will not be automatic. So we already drafted our very last payment reminder. So if they have a difficulty to pay, they could reach out to us, call us, email us, or come in person. So yeah. So it will not be automatic because everything is self-service in My CSU EB.
Yeah. And also because we do charge a $30 fee. They have to agree to the contract. Basically, they have to agree to that because we don't automatically put them on the plan because we charge that fee. So we don't want people saying, "Hey, why'd you put me on the plan? I didn't tell you to. Why am I being charged this $30?" So, yeah.
Does anybody else have any questions?
I don't see anything on the chat. Feel free to voice out if you have any questions. We're here to help.
Okay. Thank you very much for coming and talking to us, Flo and Aaron. I appreciate it. I might stop by. Flo, it looks like you're in your office today. I might stop by a little. I have a couple of comments on the website, but I don't think it's necessary to have that here in this chat.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
thank you, Mary.
Thank you, everybody.
The chat on there. Yeah, so have a great day, guys. You know how to reach out to us and feel free. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.